And I honestly felt like that's where I've been getting it wrong over the years. I've noticed that when I'm dialed in, when I'm training well, when my nutrition's on point, when I'm sleeping somewhat well, which is a big problem that we'll probably talk about. Today's video is a pretty big video for me because today is the day that we get to sit down and we get to talk about what the last number of weeks have been like training wise, what are the few races that I've got coming up, and where we're going. And finally, what's my mindset gonna be moving forward, because there's been a big change. There's been a big change on the way I see all this. All right. And I guess it makes sense to start with my mindset because that kind of informs the rest of this video, where my training's been and what the next month's gonna look like. 2 months. So let's start with talking about that mindset. Now, all in, not all consuming. And I actually ended up getting that from Nick Bear. I've followed Nick Bear for a long time. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of Nick Bear. You know that I'm a big fan of hybrid athlete training, even though I've leaned more towards running just with all the marathon preps. But all in, not all consuming. And really, I'll probably screw this up badly, but really it boils down to when I'm about to go for a run, or when I'm on a run, when I'm at the gym training, when I'm eating and trying to get my nutrition bang on to where it needs to be, I am focused entirely on those things in that moment. But outside of those moments, when I'm doing things with family, when I'm at work, when I'm just hanging out, when I'm experiencing all the things that I'm going to experience over the next few weeks and frankly for the rest of my life, I'm not letting running or lifting or any of that stuff have a negative impact and be all consuming on all of the other things that I do. And I honestly felt like that's where I've been getting it wrong over the years. I've noticed that when I'm dialed in, when I'm training well, when my nutrition's on point, when I'm sleeping somewhat well, which is a big problem that we'll probably talk about later on, but things are going good. Marathon prep's going good. I'm feeling better. I'm more efficient at work, I'm sharper, I'm more there for the family, but I often lean a little bit too hard into if I'm in a big marathon prep, I need to be thinking about that all the time, every moment of the day, because I don't want those other things to impact that. But the reality is, the truth is that the reasons why I got into running in the first place, the reason why I decided a few years ago to go from 250 pounds down to what now is probably 170 pounds, go from probably not being super nice to my body in pretty well every way I managed, every way you can think of, to paying closer attention to those things, is that I did that so I could be there for my family, so I could mentally be there for them, so I could do well at work, so I could run with them, so I could play with them, so I could be that dad that's going to be there a long time and understand my responsibilities and understand, quite frankly, what I want out of life and what I want for my family out of life. And when I started this channel a long time ago, it was pre-running, it was pre-exercise, it was really, and I haven't shared this, and today is probably not the point. There will be a whole another video at some point on this, but I started this channel really in a bad spot, but I didn't actually post anything. I thought of the name, What Matters to Matt. I thought it would help me focus on what was most important to me. And then not long after, there was this switch where I started focusing too much on the things that were important to being what I could be for the things that were important to be. That probably doesn't make any sense, but focusing on my family, focusing on them, as the next few weeks definitely will show, is gonna be important. But we've got a couple of exciting races that I'm all in for. We've got a few months of exciting training that I'm all in for, and maybe we'll talk about that next. All right, so you're not going to be able to tell, but that is quite the hill. I just came out of a trail up there, and then you've got this long downhill, and it's fairly steep. And I've been trying to work on just letting gravity take me. And I noticed that I was actually running pretty quick there. But I also noticed that, man, my quads just pounding as I'm going down that hill. So something I definitely have to work on. I got to be a little bit more smooth, a little bit less on the brakes all the time. But anyways, today's all about an easy run. Today's all about all the other things. So let's just get this run done. Just gonna go. All right, so that run ended up being a little bit of a slog, maybe 15 kilometers. Now I think I was still feeling it in my legs from the last couple of days. It is Thursday now. Tuesday, I went and did just shy of 22 kilometers. I'll put the mileage up here on the screen. I think that's around 13 miles. And then yesterday I did a workout with 6 1K repeats and ran every single one of those repeats way too fast. And so today, that 15 kilometers now, I had mentioned on the run, that I think I'll remember to include here, that I ran down this pretty long steep hill, and it really hammered my quads. What's interesting is shortly after that, I started feeling a little bit of tightness in my hip, which led to a little bit of a tightness in my knee, which I think is an IT band thing that flares up every once in a while, but not something I'm gonna be too worried about just when I'm away. And we'll get into going away, that I have some sort of recovery tool with me, like a massage gun or something. But I wanted to touch on the last few weeks, because I haven't really given any updates on my training. Coming off my last marathon, I had decided that I wanted to do a fall marathon. I was debating whether I would train for a shorter race, 10K, in the summer, and the marathon that I ended up going into for the fall comes in early October, and the timing was a little bit tight for me to feel like I could put a proper training block into something shorter, like a 10K or a 5K, and still feel like I put a proper training block into the marathon. So we skipped that and we moved right into marathon training. And so for the last 4 weeks, almost 5 weeks now, I have started a marathon training block. I think that's right. Maybe it's only 3 weeks and almost 4 weeks now. But anyways, for the last month or so, I've been doing a marathon training block, and I had a couple of goals when I started out this summer, and I had put a video about my goals in January, and one of those goals was to PR the 10K. One of those goals was to PR the marathon. One of those goals was to PR the 5K, and basically PR all the distances from 5K all the way up to marathon. And I was basing that on my Strava because I hadn't really run any hard 10Ks. Now the 10K that I'm going to be running is the Saucony London 10K. I almost said A6. It was A6. Now it's Saucony. I don't know why. If you know why, put it in the comments down below. And I think if I based it on my Strava PR, which interestingly came when I hit my half marathon PR, these PRs that I'm talking about were in training. Most of that has to do with I really got into running, went straight to the marathon, but it's not that fast relative to where I think somebody who runs the marathons that I run, which again, depending on the person, might not be that quick, but then my 10K times are not that fast because I haven't trained for anything that short. So I'm hoping that the marathon training that I've been doing has helped me at least get to the fitness level where I can PR in the 10K and hit that goal for the year. I think it is. I've been back and forth the last couple of weeks whether I would just have a fun run in London because it's really exciting. I'm going to be going there, but being from Eastern Canada, we're going to try to PR that 10K. Now the training the last few weeks, just a couple of notes that I want to make there. I've been doing sort of a Jack Daniels 2Q style of training, and I probably should, I say this so many times in videos, but I probably should do a separate video on that because that's kind of what I think is the way forward for me, is that style of training. And the way the 2Q program works is you pick a total mileage goal that you want to run every single week for a marathon prep, and there are 2 quality workouts. One of those quality workouts is during the week, and one of those quality workouts is your long run. There's some pace in your long run. And then beyond that, you just got a total mileage goal for the week, and you got to hit that mileage. However you want to spread that out, it's fine. As long as most of that's easy running, then you hit those 2 workouts. One of the main reasons why I was so attracted to that was that only having 2 quality sessions for the week, and one of those being your long run, gives me a little bit more time in between, and even a little bit more flexibility on when that other session happens. All that to say, kind of following a Jack Daniels 2Q style of training, and it's been going pretty well. The one big mistake that I've made is that on a number of those workouts, I've gone too hard just based on where my fitness is at, and also I've gone too hard based on what the weather's like. We've hit the summer months, it's getting really warm, it hasn't been good all the time. So there have been a few times where I've really felt like I could have went a little bit easier in those runs. Intervals should be at an interval pace, threshold pace, relative to what you're able to run, if that's the goal of the workout. And oftentimes I've been missing that. Yesterday I missed that. And when I mentioned that I did 6 by 1K repeats, those are supposed to be at like an interval pace with a 3-minute jog in between. And I believe on at least 3 or 4 of those 6Ks, those were the fastest kilometers that I've ever run before. That's sort of my little bit of a mini update as I kind of scramble to get ready to head over to France. Hopefully over the next few weeks, I'll be able to take you along with me in my training as I try to squeeze as much of it in as I can while I'm over there. My name is Matt. This has been What Matters to Matt, and what matters to me most is my family. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be